Back with another one. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about today. Shit. Just probably gonna be talking about more sports. Last night or all day yesterday we had games from 9:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was pretty long day of watching sports anyways. First game, the Vikings versus the Jets. Man. The Vikings should have blew him out, but Sam Darnold was showing his real colors after he threw two interceptions, I think. It was either one or two, I'm not sure. And then getting like four or five pass interference calls and somehow not scoring on like two possessions and getting field goals. That's crazy. You get to the 1 yard line and don't you have to what third and goal? I think you have to run it in with CJ Ham. Why'd you do that the first time? You're at the 1 yard line. CJ Ham's a fullback. Give him the ball. Like that's stupid. It's common sense. And then what happened? The Jets. Aaron Rodgers got hurt and ended up. Oh, everybody thought he was done, and everybody thought, well, season's over. Dude comes back, throws, starts being consecutive, getting touchdowns, almost comes back and wins the game, then throws a pick right at the end, right to Stephon Gilmore. Crazy work. But he almost came back, and I thought they were going to win that after seeing what Sam Darnold was playing. Like, I'm like, it's not that hard to just run the ball, and if that's not working, throw the ball. But then you also, now we got the 1 o'clock games. By the shirt, you can see the Panthers played the Bears. I thought, this might be a close game. Seeing, oh, Caleb Williams probably ain't gonna do that good. Oh, I was wrong. Our defense sucks. Our defensive coordinator really made me angry last night or yesterday afternoon. When you have a running back like Chuba Hubbard that can run the ball, the first possession we punted because Dalton had what I think threw two incompletions, but we were starting to drive, but we ended up punting it away. And then Chicago did the same. And then Chuba had a 38-yard touchdown. And you see how he was running. Offensive coordinator, if you see that, wouldn't you think, oh, I think I should start running the ball a little bit more instead of trying to get Andy Dalton hot when you have something that's already working? It's common sense. And then when Chuba scored, the next possession the Bears had, to what, a 60-yard touchdown, freaking DJ Moore. Scott Fitter is a stupid GM, bro. When we had him, bro, that irritated me. Why trade DJ Moore for the first round pick? That's crazy work. He was doing really good. And you also declined trades for Brian Burns that was for two picks from the Rams, and then only give him away for like 2 second rounds and a third. Like, come on, man, that's stupid. But you're not even the one that even did that. That was Dan Morgan, but at least he got rid of him. But you should have got a lot more. That's crazy to me. Then who else played that one? That Bengals and Ravens game was a good game right there. And when you had, I think Baltimore came back, Lamar fumbled it, but I think that was in overtime. But yeah, that game was pretty good. Cincinnati was winning the whole game. Baltimore kept coming back, making it a 3 point possession game. Then Bengals will score. Then Ravens will score. Then they got field goal to send it to overtime, 38-38. And then had overtime where Lamar Jackson was driving and then he fumbled it. And then they thought, oh, the game's over. We won. Let's go. Cincinnati, we about to go to two and three? And then the placeholder fucking dropped the ball. That was bad. And then Evan McPherson hit it but went left. And then next play, Derrick Henry runs for like a 40, 50-yard rush, gets into the 10-yard line, and then sets Justin Tucker up for a field goal. And you know Justin Tucker's automatic. He's not missing that. So that's when the Ravens won last night. That was a really good game. And then you had the Commanders. The Commanders put a belt to the Browns, bro. I'm telling you, they need to let go of Deshaun. Deshaun Watson is a huge problem for that team. Cleveland's defense, we all know what they can really do, but it's always Deshaun Watson that's holding their offense apart. You have Jerome Ford. He's not even a bad running back, first and foremost. Amari Cooper at receiver. You have a decent offensive line. If I'm not mistaken, I would go out and try and get a quarterback and see, or put in whoever the backup quarterback is and see what we can do there. I'm not a Browns fan, but that's just what I think should happen with the Browns. Even though they're paying them what 200 and something million dollars, I have no idea, but that is crazy, crazy work for me. But I think that's what should happen. They should trade or let go of Deshaun Watson for something. I don't know. And then who else? The Packers and the Rams was a pretty good game. You had what Jordan Love almost getting a safety, instead throws a pick six at the what 2 yard line. I think it's crazy. And then you had what Josh Jacobs running in for one. I think I'm not sure. I think that was like the first touchdown of the game. I'm not sure. But and then you had their tight end had I think it was what four receptions for 88 yards, and then a touchdown, two touchdowns. That was really good. Had him in my fantasy. Not gonna lie, in one of my leagues, he did pretty good on there. Well, and then the Rams started to make a comeback, and then they got to the last possession, and that game, I thought, I'm not gonna lie, great defense from Green Bay, because Green Bay looked like they were letting Los Angeles come down the field and score, but ended up Matthew Stafford threw an incomplete pass to their tight end, and Green Bay ended the game off like that. I thought that was pretty cool. And then 4 o'clock game, we had Arizona and San Francisco. I thought San Francisco was gonna blow them out, but I was completely wrong. Kyler Murray, well, I think first touchdown of the game, had a 50-yard touchdown. I thought that was kind of crazy to me how San Francisco just lets that even happen, because we know how good San Francisco can be defensively. I mean, that's crazy. And then offensively, San Francisco's been playing trash. They had George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Greg Jennings, I think, or Juwan Jennings. I'm not sure what his first name is. And then you have Jordan Mason. That's a good running back replacing Chris McCaffrey out with those tendonitis in his legs. I mean, come on now, San Francisco. You got to come out with a win on that. You have everybody healthy and everything, and you lose to the Cardinals. Cardinals can get what an interception to seal the game, but also had a field goal to win the game. I mean, San Francisco, you had a chance. You should have blown them out, in my opinion. But hey, it's any given Sunday, so I wouldn't know. But I'm just saying, you need to beat Arizona if you want to be a good team in the playoffs. And then who else played at 4? The Giants and the Seahawks played. That was a crazy game, I would say. You got what? The Giants were winning. I think the first touchdown of the game came off running back. He fumbled in the end zone, and the Seattle defender ran it all the way back to the end zone. That was I didn't expect that. I thought it was in, not gonna lie, but I didn't see it. And then next score, I think what they threw a touchdown to Darius Slayton on the next drive. It's crazy. Then you have what? Then you threw a touch. Then Daniel Jones played pretty good, throwing another touchdown to Wandale Robinson. I think it was 14-7. That whole game was crazy. I didn't really see what the Seahawks did much, but I know the Giants at the end of the game, Isaiah Simmons jumped over a kicker when it was 23-20 and blocked it, and then they returned it all the way to the crib, and then they went for two and played it smart, and I think they probably nailed it or something. I don't know, but it caused it so no one could either get a 2 point conversion from the Seahawks and either get a touchdown or a 2 point conversion off the touchdown and tie it up. So I thought that was pretty smart. And then you had the last game of the day, the Pittsburgh and Dallas got rain delayed until I think either 9:45, something like that. Thought that was a pretty good game. Dak Prescott played like trash, not gonna lie. He had what 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I mean, they pulled out with the win, but man, that game should have went to Pittsburgh. Justin Fields didn't play that well, but I mean, he should still be the starter even though they lost. I mean, can't just blame it on him. Their defense played really well too, causing a lot of sacks and causing a lot of interceptions. I like that for their defense. And then would say that that game was pretty cool. Trying to think. Because it looked like at one point Chris Boswell missed a field goal, but I don't think he did. I'm not sure. I fell asleep watching the game, not gonna lie. The game ended up staying on until 1 o'clock, so I don't know if I was asleep or I just wasn't looking at the game. And then got a game tonight with the Chiefs and the Saints. I mean, I don't like either team, but shit, I'm a Panthers fan, so I would have to have the Chiefs win. But the way they've been playing, I don't even think they should be even undefeated, and I don't think they probably will beat the Saints. But being a Panthers fan, you're gonna want to hope the Chiefs can win. So hopefully, if they win, the Panthers might have a chance to come back, but I don't know. Crazy thing how Bryce Young came in with like 4 minutes left and threw a dot other than what Andy Dalton could do in the whole entire freaking 3.5 quarters of the game. But I mean, shoot, I would say keep Dalton in for the rest of the season and let our offensive line heal because I just saw earlier that Austin Corbett, our center, ended up having a torn bicep and now he's out for the rest of the season. Now our offensive line is starting to get hurt, like our defense too. Derek Brown, Austin Corbett, Dane Jackson got hurt, but he played last night, or played yesterday afternoon. Who else? And Xavier Woods is trash. I'm not gonna lie. Our whole defensive line played pretty good when trying to go against Caleb Williams, but at the same time, bro, we need more sacks. We need more rushes, bro. We have to make tackles. If the Panthers don't make tackles, bro, what's the point of even playing a game? I mean, it don't make sense to me. It's crazy where I also and also I'm gonna have to talk a little bit other sports. So I'm gonna talk about baseball. I mean, last night I didn't watch it, but I saw the highlights of the Mets and Phillies game. The Phillies ended up winning 7-6, I think, when they had I think it was Nick Castellanos with a go ahead home run or something to win the game. It was pretty sure if they were playing in Philadelphia, it was probably energy. Their energy is unmatched. I don't know how people can go in there and beat Philadelphia in Philly. It's crazy. I think Philadelphia probably has one of the best fan bases in baseball, to be honest with you. But hey, I'm not gonna get into that because I'm a Braves fan. But hey, just saying. But then the Padres played the Dodgers. The Dodgers lost 10-2. I think there was one point in the game where they got mad and started throwing stuff at their players, and then I think they had a delay because of the fans trying to throw stuff on the on the court field or whatever. It's crazy work. I don't know why. I would never do that if I was them. Just saying. But hey, yeah, that's about for the baseball. I'll go to college football now, I guess. I'm a North Carolina and App State fan in both of those, I guess. But I mean, App State didn't really play that well. I think they lost to Marshall at 52-37. That was pretty bad. I thought they would have had a chance against Marshall, especially after Hurricane Helene hit App. I thought maybe they would have a little bit more confidence in going in there trying to help, trying to see if they could bring a little bit of happiness to the App State people or whatever. I mean, I I, I still rock with the team regardless, win or lose. But I just thought they were gonna come in with a little bit more heat. I mean, my problem is Joey Aguilar played pretty well. I mean, he threw two interceptions, but at the same time, he also had two touchdowns. I think 300 yards, if I'm not mistaken. But the sad thing is, if you play in football, in your quarterback for both teams, both quarterbacks had the most rushing yards and the most passing yards. That's not good for either team if your running backs can't have more yards than your quarterback. That's not a good sign. But I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't haven't played football since I was a kid, so I'm not gonna go and just say this and that about this and that. But hey, I'm just saying. And then you had what? North Carolina went. Pittsburgh came into North Carolina. Ended up a game was tied. I think going into the fourth quarter, and then Pittsburgh just started running away with it. I think they lost 34-24. But I mean, man, you got to pull out a win, especially after that upsetting loss against Duke, going 21-20. You have to come off, and I would think going into a win. But I mean, I guess I was wrong. Hey, you got to do something there. And I think Pittsburgh is undefeated right now, but that's good for them because they haven't. I don't think they've been that good since Kenny Pickett left, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think when Kenny Pickett was there, I think they went to the ACC championship against who was it? I don't know, but I know they went to the ACC championship and I think they lost, if I'm not mistaken. It was against Wake Forest, I think. I'm not sure, but and then you had who else played on Saturday? Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. That was a surprise. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how Vanderbilt went. Alabama lost to them. Vanderbilt's been playing like absolute great football recently. I think the first game they played was against Virginia Tech, and they upsetted them when they were ranked number 25 or whatever. And then they played Alabama, and then they beat them. I mean, yeah, come on, that's crazy. And then people got to stop sleeping on them because you never know because they come in against y'all, and next thing you know, they gonna lose. Then you'd be surprised. So don't sleep on Vanderbilt. They could do some really special things. Then you got who else was it? Let's see. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. That was an upset. That was crazy. I don't know how. I think when I saw it on my phone the other time when they were down, I'm like, no way Arkansas is about to win this game. And then I looked at the highlights. They did not play good at all. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not gonna hate on either team, but it was kind of crazy how Arkansas just went in. I mean, they were at home, so that's pretty good. They rushed the field and everything. That seems like something fun to do to upset number four. I think Tennessee was at the time. But that's crazy. And then you had um, Minnesota upset USC. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Riley Moss threw an interception at the end of not Riley Moss. What's his name? Is it Miller Moss or something like that? The quarterback for USC. He threw a pick to the Minnesota safety in the end zone with I think 9 seconds left. Ended up ending that game. That was an upset. Then you had Washington, like the rematch of the national championship, Washington versus Michigan, and then Washington played really well against Michigan, beat them I think by 10. I think it was 27 to 17 or something like that. Ended up beating them. Thought that was pretty amazing. College football recently, it's just been cinema, man. I'm telling you, you never know what's gonna happen on that Saturday. It's kind of crazy. I like it when it's games like that, so you never know when it's gonna end. Like, is it gonna go that way or is it gonna go that way? I mean, it's sad when your teams are losing, but it's fun when you actually have games you can watch and not be bored. It's always entertaining with these games, especially the upsets. I mean, it's amazing. Hopefully, I think, if I'm not mistaken, App goes into Louisiana this week and then has a bye week. I'm not sure, but I think that's what happens. Hopefully, with that bye week, they can do some, do something to help them, especially on their defense. I think allowing 52 points is not good. You can't let that happen. You gotta work on that, man. I'm telling you. I don't think they should fire their head coach or anything. That would be, I think I think if I'm not mistaken, his name's some Sean Clark or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't want to say his name wrong, but I think he's not bad because he's the one that led us to what a 9-5 season last year into a bowl game against Miami of Ohio and then beat them. That was a pretty good. I mean, we just got to get everything situated, figure it out. I mean, we still have what 4 or 5 games, 6 games left. I mean, I wouldn't say everything's over yet, but it's probably we can still make a bowl game. That's something. I mean, we were projected to be something good, probably get into the playoffs, but that was probably over when we lost to Clemson 66-20. But hey, Clemson's showing that they can be a really good team this year, so don't sleep on Clemson. That's another thing. I think they went into Florida State or they Florida State went to Death Valley, I'm not sure, but they ended up what beating them pretty bad. Florida State's been pretty trash. I mean, but other than that, Clemson's still pretty good. Don't sleep on them for real, because Florida State 1-5. I mean, you gotta figure out what's going on with your team. Everybody thought it was just DJ Alongalele. I'm not trying to say his name wrong, DJ, but that kind of shows that Florida State might not just be a good team. It's not DJ's fault, but DJ did throw a lot of interceptions when they were there, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, it's pretty good Saturday this Saturday and Sunday, and then hopefully it's gonna be a good Monday with this game tonight. I ain't gonna lie. I hope it's not a boring game because the Chiefs recently have been playing like trash, and the Saints are on a 2-game losing streak. So hopefully someone here is either gonna come. I hope the Saints win. To be honest, I know the Panthers this and that, but dude, the Chiefs are hard to like sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. So I hope that tonight's game is gonna be pretty good, and I hope that the Saints win, even though my rivals. Either way, screw it. We go Panthers, go Tar Heels, go Mountaineers, and thanks.